Hey, what's up guys, how you all doing? I'm Paul the Tech Giant and welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be unboxing and testing out this 65-inch Sony X90L. As usual, big thanks to UK electrical retailer Peter Tyson for sending over this TV for testing. And if you are on the market for a new TV, it'd be great if you would consider making that TV purchase from them. But it's not just TVs that they sell, they have a whole range of other electrical items available. Many of which come with free delivery, extended warranties, and they have finance options available. And all of this is backed up by great customer service, and that's what you're going to want. Just look at their reviews on Trustpilot. They speak for themselves. So once again, big thanks to Peter Tyson, and please go and check out their link in the description. Okie dokie, let's crack on then. And first off, what we're going to do is take a look around the outside of the box. So as we can see, this is the Sony Bravia XR Full Array LED X90L, 65 inches or 163.9 centimeters, and Google TV. Next up, we're going to take some measurements of the box. So this is handy if you want to store the box somewhere or transport it in a car. So longest measurement first, and that comes in at 155.5 centimeters. Next up, we have the height, and that comes in at 100 centimeters. And finally, the depth, which comes in at 16.5 centimeters. There we go, we now get the first look at the TV. Nice brushed effect going on. Now that we've got the TV out of the box, let's take a look around the back of it. So first off, we have our energy rating stickers just there, and both of those come in at an F. Now the design on the back of this is like a grid pattern, something a bit different there. I think that's quite nice actually, not that you'll probably see around the back of the TV that often anyway. But moving on down, and we have an input there for our power cable. Moving across to the centre, and we have 4 screws there, which will be for attaching our wall mount brackets. And the measurements for those are 30 centimetres left to right and 30 centimetres top to bottom. Moving on down to the bottom of the TV then, and we do have a button just there. That's going to be to control the TV if we ever lose a remote. And we also have a switch, which I believe will be to turn off the microphone. Moving to the right hand side of the TV now then, and we have inputs here for aerial and satellite. Then we have one for LAN. Then we come to our 4 HDMIs. Now number 3 and 4 are marked up at 4K 120Hz, and number 3 is marked up as eARC/ARC. Moving up from them, and we have an AV in, optical digital audio out, and 2 USBs. And then finally we have a card slot. Moving along, and now we're going to take a look at the supplied accessories. So first up, we have these 2 window squeegees. Now that's very nice that they supplied these, come in handy with my windows, but they also double up as feet for the TV. And if we take a closer look, we can see that they are in fact metal and a brushed gunmetal effect. And I believe that they are also height adjustable. Next we come to this accessory pack, and in here we do have a couple of packs of batteries which are AAAs, and then we have our instructions. Next up we have this little bag of weird bolts going on. Now we come to our power cable. Now this is a figure of 8 type cable, and if I just grab my tape measure, we can see that it comes in at around 152 centimeters. Then finally we come to the remote controls. Yes, we get 2. So let's open up this one first. Looks the cheapest one. So all plastic affair going on. Quite dinky that, to be fair. Looks quite basic, got some directional buttons just there. Obviously number keypad going on, and home button. Yeah, quite a basic little remote. There we go, you can see the size of that in my hand. Now let's move on to this one. This is going to be our main remote, I guess. There we go. So just a bit of a size comparison. little bit longer but thinner. But this one we do actually have some shortcuts going on. So we've got Bravia Core, Netflix, Disney Plus, Prime Video, YouTube and Crunchyroll. And then again, we've got another directional pad, enter button, so on and so forth. Again, all plastic on the back of this one compared to the other one, which is just all matte. This one does have a bit of texture going on, as you can see just there. So yeah, not the best remote I've ever seen, but at least you get two of them. Now we've come to the part of the video that so many of you guys love, and that is the screen protector peel. But unfortunately, it's bad news. We don't have a screen protector. What we do have is a little sticker that says there's no screen protector to actually peel off, which is good that they let us know that, so we're not hacking away there with our fingers at absolutely nothing. But what we do have is this piece of card covered in foam, which to be fair is probably adding more protection than just a film would. So let's crack on then and get this protective card removed. And oh, there we go. So a little bit different. Now it's a little bit of a bonus. We do actually have a little bit of film just running along the bottom here. So let's peel that off. Right, so I've just hooked up the TV to the mains power supply, and all that's left to do is turn on the TV for the very first time. Right, so that was a little bit disappointing. No big fanfare or Sony logo. We just get welcome, and we need to select our language. Next up, we need to select your region or country. Now there are two ways that we can set up this TV. So we can set up Google TV or set up Basic TV. Now personally, I'm going to set up Google TV, and in here we can use the Google Home app. We've got a QR code there that we can use, but I'm not going to bore you guys with a setup process, so I will see you on the other side. Now that we got the TV all set up, and before we take a look through the menus, test out the picture and the sound, we're going to take a look at the design of the TV. So first off, starting around the side and the back, and if we go in closer, we can see we've got a nice brushed gunmetal grey effect going on. Now if I put my finger up there as some size sort of reference, we can see how thick or thin the side of the TV is. Now move around to the back and we can see that the TV is angled in such a way that when you move around like so, you don't really see much of what is sticking out the back of the TV. Now going back again, and we can see that whilst it is slightly thinner at the top, does bulk out a bit from there going down, and we do then come to our inputs and outputs. Now one thing about this is that they are recessed back, and we do have this lump, so it does make it a little bit difficult when it comes to plugging stuff in, as you can't really easily see what you are accessing. Now moving around to the front of the TV, we can see we've got some nice thin bezels going along the top and sides of the TV, but when we get down to the bottom, they do thicken up somewhat. Now we also have a Sony logo in the bottom left hand corner. To be fair, it's not too intrusive, it's quite dark, but I would prefer to see it in the middle of the TV. Now one good thing about this TV is that it doesn't have a lump sticking out the bottom of it or to the side for the sensors. It's all neatly housed just there. You might see a bit of a difference there. We've got a bit of a notch going on. And below that, we can see that button and switch that I pointed out earlier. So overall, a nice clean design. Next up, and we're going to take a look at some of the menus. And first starting off with the home menu. Now along the top we have For You, Movies, TV shows, apps and library. Now moving along the top again, and we also have a search function, and just to the right of that we have our quick settings. Now if we scroll down, we've got things like top picks, and below that we come to the apps. Now I'm in the UK, so the apps may vary depending on where you are in the world, but for me I'm getting Netflix, Prime Video, got BBC iPlayer, ITVX, Channel 4 and My5. Great that we're getting all the main UK catch-up services there. Then we have Disney Plus, YouTube, Apple TV, Normal TV, BBC Sounds, YouTube Music, YouTube Kids, Bravia Core. Now this is great, I've covered this in a separate video. So this is high bitrate streaming, and I may do another video on this just to show you guys how amazing it actually is. Then we got Crunchyroll, Raccoon TV, My Bravia, Sony Select, so on and so forth. There is absolutely loads of it. And of course, if that lot isn't enough for you, then you can download even more. Now moving down from that, and we're being recommended even more things. So we've got top selling movies, we've got our TV channels there, popular movies and TV shows, so on and so forth. But I've got to be totally honest with you, there is a lot of it. A few too many recommendations for my liking. I'll just keep going down it, it just goes on and on and on. And if I scroll back up to the top, there we go, you can see, yeah, there is a lot. Now I've just hopped into our main settings to see what's going on. So we've got channels and inputs, display and sound. So let's go in here. So we've got our different picture modes there. So we've got standard, cinema, game, graphics, photo and custom. And finally we have vivid. Moving down from that, we've got a load more settings. So we've got the light sense there, we can turn that on or off. Then we've got our brightness, color, clarity, motion, video signal, advanced color adjustment. So that is great to see. Backing out of that, then we've got screen, so we can adjust things like the screen ratio going on there. Then we've got our sound. Now we'll be testing out sound in full in just a bit, but we have the acoustic auto calibration. Then we've got our different sound modes, sound customization, volume level, again, so on and so forth. Finally, in display and sound, we have the audio output. Again, another load of settings in here, including one for eARC, which we can turn off or to auto. Coming back to the main settings again, and then we've got network and internet. Then we have account and sign in. Below that we have privacy. Below that again we have our apps, and then below we have system. So let's just go in here. So in here we have our accessibility settings. So let's have a quick flick through here. So there we go, got quite a few going on, which is nice to see. Then we have about TV, date and time, language, keyboard, storage. So in here, as we can see, we get 20 gig of storage space. And to the side, it gives us a breakdown of where that storage is being used. Below that, we have ambient mode, power and energy, cast, reset, parental controls, built-in mic sensitivity, LED indicators, sound, Apple AirPlay and HomeKit, and yeah, there is loads of it. Coming back to the settings again, then we have remotes and accessories, and finally help and feedback. Next up, and we're going to test out how reflective this screen is. So what I've done, I've turned off the TV, and if we look above, I've got some pretty strong lighting. So if we bend down and see how the TV handles that, well, that is doing a pretty good job. The light is being diffused there, as we can see, and it is being dulled down quite a bit. Now if I just move up and wave a bit, yes, we can see my reflection there somewhat, but it isn't acting like a mirror like some TVs do, which are glossy, but this TV is more matte. So overall, it's not doing a bad job when it comes to handling those reflections. Now we come to the part of the video that I'm sure you've all been waiting for, and that is testing out the picture. Now first off, we're going to start with some SDR footage, that's standard dynamic range, and we will be testing out some HDR footage in a minute and some darker stuff too. But first impressions with this, well, it's looking pretty good. Now, I will always say with Sony, they seem to always play it safe when it comes to the image. They don't seem to over-process the image like other manufacturers do. The colours are generally pretty good, but what I would say is it's leaning more towards the warmer tones in this standard picture mode. Now, if I just grab the remote control and press on this button just here, we get up our quick settings and we can see just there that we're in the standard mode. Let's just now pop it into cinema. So that's just warmed it up even further again. Then we've got IMAX enhanced and custom, but at the top we have vivid, and now things have really taken a boost. So once again, Other manufacturers, when they have their vivid modes or dynamic modes, they seem to be very, very over the top. But this, once again, whilst it is a lot brighter and things are punchier, it doesn't feel like it's too over the top, which is good. Let's next check out the viewing angles. So if we move around to the side, what happens? Well, we do lose a lot of colour, and it does also go quite pinkish looking, where if we come back round straight on, it does then look a lot better. Go off to the side, yeah, things start to wash out then, and yeah, the sky is looking really messy when we are off to the side. So if you are wanting a TV with really good viewing angles, this maybe isn't the one for you, but if you are looking straight on, then it does look very good. Just go around to the side once more, and then back again. And there we go. Next up, we are going to test out the black levels on this TV. So what I've done, I've paused a piece of footage so we can look at it in more detail. Now looking directly on, these areas are looking nice and dark. But as we get closer to the lighter areas, we can see some blooming going on just down there and also just up the top there. Now if we move round to the side, you'll see where this TV falls down. And yeah, we can see that blooming coming through there, and things are really starting to fall apart. So yeah, off dead center, it's not looking so good. But as we move back, those black levels start to return. Moving around to the other side, and as we go further around, there we go again, we can see it brightening up there. But at the end of the day, that is just the technology. And if you want those perfect black levels, well, you're just gonna have to invest in an OLED TV. On to some 4K HDR demo footage now then. And this is looking very impressive, as you would expect with it being 4K HDR. Brightness has taken a massive boost now, and colours are looking very vibrant. Now, whilst I've not done the sound test yet, it is already sounding very, very good. Oh yeah. Now let's just move around and see about the reflections there in the window, so we can see a few going on. There we go, but it is a matte screen, so it is being diffused quite well. Let's come back onto the center. Wow. Now let's test out the sound, and for me this is the highlight of this TV, and there are a couple of reasons for that. First off, the clarity. Just listen to it. Honestly, it is really, really good. Now I wouldn't say it's the most bassiest TV I've heard, but it isn't bad. But it's the mids and trebles that really stand out to me. Just turn it up a bit. But the second thing is just how wide the sound is thrown out into the room. Now the reason for this, and if I just show you, turn that down a second, move round to the side, we can see that sound gets thrown out from there and on the other side. So it's getting thrown out by the sides of the TV and knocked off the walls, and it just sounds so wide. Honestly, it just fills the room. I've come into the living room and I've had things playing, and I thought it's been a sound from outside. It's honestly thrown out that wide. You don't believe sometimes the sounds are coming from the TV itself. But yeah, I am just loving this. Now, of course, we've got different sound modes. So if we go to those, we are in standard at the moment. Then we've got dialogue, cinema, music, sports, and Dolby Audio. So let's now just turn it up a bit and see how loud she goes. So it's not distorting there, which is good. So when it comes to the sound on this TV, whilst it could do with a little bit more bass, I am very, very impressed. And there you have it then, guys. Now I will be doing a full gaming test video with this TV and the PlayStation 5 to see what it's like for you gamers out there, and if you'd like to see that video then make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you have enjoyed today's video please do me a favour and reach up and hit the thumbs up button. Really does help me out and promote these videos. So thanks very much for joining me today, and hopefully I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Bye for now.